السلام عليكم مرة ثانية. My pleasure to meet you, Dr. Mahmoud.
Thank you
Thank
so
you
much.
very much
Very happy
for
to
your
see you
time.
again. Thank you.
Absolutely. And just a quick reference. So the noises you hear on the interview, it's actually just a train going above us. So it's not bombing. It's not in a war zone. It's just what is happening.
Just
above
similar
us.
to war zone, by the way.
Actually, the first second
Yeah.
I attended.
I've been in New York one day with Sam's team in a visit, and in that day I have to visit the United Nations Assembly or the Security Council.
Security Council.
So during this visit, I was walking in New York City's street, and I think there was a lady called Catherine, and there is a flight, a helicopter. I scared and run and hide in a building. She told me, what's going on? I told her, no, because there's a helicopter in the flight. You may drop any barrel bomb at any time.
It actually happened.
This has happened in 2015, 10 years from now.
2014,
2015.
1 year before that, when I moved to Turkey, a friend of ours in Turkey hosted us, and what they call in Turkey the monobus. They go through sort of smaller areas in Turkey, and it was really loud, and me and my mom, we actually just started to shout, it just like out of nowhere, and we thought there was something wrong, bombing, and we actually had exactly the same scenarios, and it stays for us, I think, for such a long time, and it will stay with us.
I did an interview with CBC News one day, and during the interview, I was shaking my leg like this. You can find it in the interview. You can always shake it like this. And when they broadcast, you just focus on my leg. I was shaking my legs.
It's just something natural.
Yeah, something natural that you're feeling under stress.
Yeah, no, absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. So, Dr. Mahmoud, just the first question, and we had a couple of conversations before the conference and all of that, but really I always had that question, what really led you to work in war zones or to work in war medicine?
It's not a matter of why you work in a war medicine or this is an obligation for yourself and feeling that you have to do it. You have to do this. It's a long history of dictatorship, and you're feeling you have to do something. And it's like a puzzle anyway. You have your space in this place.
Absolutely.
You have to do it. If you do not do it, nobody else will do it.
Absolutely.
From my position, I've been working in university hospital. I have, to some extent, good experience in surgery. I find myself like a father for those young team who are working with me, including medical students or some of my residents in my hospital and some of my colleagues. So I found this is an obligation for me. It's not a matter of to choose or not to choose. I felt this is my obligation. I have to do it myself. Yes. Yeah.
That's amazing. It's really amazing because a lot of conversation when I started to study medicine at the University of Dundee and set up the foundation, I've actually had a lot of interest, and a lot of students ask me like, why do you want to do that? And I really I always thought I need to ask you this question because I didn't have an answer, and I always thought it's just an obligation that I have to do something. If I didn't do it, if the other medical health care professionals didn't do it, then there should be someone to do it. And yeah, no, that's amazing. Thank you. How long have you been in the UK, Dr. Mahmoud?
It's 2.5 years.
And of course you have been often back to Syria,
of course, back and forth to Syria and Turkey.
And the moment I left Syria in 2013, I think. 18. When I left.
Yeah.
And I've never been back there. I think that's.
I think it's time to.
I think I agree. I've actually been thinking about it.
You will enjoy many things. First of all, a feeling that there is no more assets.
Absolutely.
Feeling that you are free to talk, to say, feeling some sort of you are now in a free country, in your home base where you were born, where we raised up, all of this area. So you're feeling a special feeling when you go there, honestly, especially in the first visit. The second one, you feel much better and relaxed, and the third one, you feel things are different. The whole life is different. Maybe for you as a young man, you would not raise long time in this era, you know, it's just 19 something. So you will feel also something different in terms of feeling that everything is changing already.
Absolutely. And I am actually looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I really, after the fall of the government, I have been thinking about it for some time, to go back and have a real feel what it's like after the fall of the government, after the fall of the dictatorship that we have been living under. And sometimes my dad explains to me, because my dad as well had that long time living under the dictatorship, and it will feel different. Just leading to the second question that I always wanted to ask. Both of us are Syrians. I am from Aleppo. My story is very different, for example, to my brother's story. The struggles that I had been through, crossing the borders, searching for life at the age of 13, was very different to what my brother had experienced, crossing the sea, drowned in the sea. He was going to be a victim, but thank God he was saved last minute and stayed in the intensive care unit for such a long time. So every single story of a Syrian is different. Definitely. Yeah. So is there any specific challenges that you lived during your work in Syria as a humanitarian doctor, and after you came to the UK and then work as a NHS doctor in the UK?
The first important issues, I think you may believe you feel it right now, is feeling unstable in general in your life, facing that you are changing your job, changing your career, changing your life different times. So I was just discussing with my wife how many home has been furnished up till now. So we started from Syria, we went to Saudi Arabia, back to Syria, back to UK, back to Syria again, go to Turkey, Turkey to UK, UK to Turkey, Turkey to Syria. All of this change in your life. You are not feeling that you have sustainable work, sustainable life. I've been working as a university scholar in Aleppo University for around 6-7 years. I have my own clinic, I have my home, life is very easy for me, my car with me, you can just go and entertain your life, doing your job and back to your family and living with your family. All of your life dramatically changed.
Absolutely.
In a moment maybe, in a decision, you feel that, I don't know how I made it, to be honest. So all of your life changed in a minute. I took my family from Aleppo, put them after a long story of struggling, first or second year, then I took them to Turkey and I said, okay, goodbye. My wife told me, where are you going? I said, I'm going to Syria. I spent 1 or 2 days, kept them in a home, rent a home for them in a strange country. They don't know the language, they don't know anything about this country. And my kids are very small. My young daughter, she was in second year or third year, that's it. And my wife was alone. And okay, I took the car and went back to Syria to work maybe months, maybe more. This feeling is very, very difficult. Especially she is all the time concerned about me. We were opening Skype at that day 24/7 between me and her just to keep communicating, even overnight, 24/7. If there is any bomb around me, she will feel that something happened. Communicating with someone. If I'm offline for any reason, she will try to find me by any way.
Absolutely.
Same for me, I'm still concerned about them. One day, it was I think 2013, I'm not sure, some thief entered my home and thief many things, jewelry from my home. And my wife, she was out, and then she came back and they found something wrong, and she called the police, and you know, what does it mean for a lady alone with little kids around her?
Absolutely.
She called me, come, there is something happened at home, you have to come, the police is here. So on the second day, I went back to Turkey and just tried to sort out this problem and know what's going on. This is one of the issues that we face during our life in this case.
To be honest, I did have very similar experience that I would never forget for the rest of my life. And everything Allah aside, not having money, not having anything to eat, not having a piece of bread to eat. And at that time I was a child. I see the stress, the worries in my family's faces. When I moved to Turkey, I lived for about 7-8 months in a swimming pool.
Oh.
No room, no doors, in the middle of the winter. We just came up with ideas just to keep ourselves warm. And now, after we got to the UK, it's a kind of joke in my family, because my brother used to use my mom's hair dryer to warm ourselves under the blanket. And seriously, that sort of feeling, the cold, I would never forget it for the rest of my life. During my journey to the UK, I was with my brother, and we were working in a chicken farm. I did, at the age of 13, 14, I did every possible job that you can imagine, from factory, 12 to 14, 18 hours a day, to chicken farm, to a sales assistant, all the way to working for Zara, for Focchio Morello as managers, so many different experiences. And on the way to the UK, because it was winter, I had my phone on my hand just to tell my mom that we've crossed the sea safely. And wallahi, my fingers didn't work on the phone because of the cold. My brother used to shake my hands like this,
just to
warm up.
Yeah.
He will keep his hands a couple of minutes in his pockets. I will type the message. Couple of more minutes, the phone, the screen, because of the cold, the screen wouldn't work. Frozen. I would give the phone to him. He would type the rest of the message while I keep my hands in my pocket. Really, that's something probably that will stay with me for the rest of my life. And one of the reasons why I want to get into medicine and make a difference to people's life. I don't want anyone to have that experience. Probably it's not so much related to medicine, but it's still the health conditions, the access to health qualities was non-existent.
Maybe I will ask you one day, when you will be back to work in a war zone, why you choose to go to a war zone again and work in a war zone? Maybe I will ask you the same question.
The same question.
Remember this question, because you will be asked the same question.
Absolutely.
In the future. Nobody knows.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
My son now is preparing himself. I have my son in medical school, recently registered, and they finished the first year. And when the revolution finished, let me say, in some term, there is no more demonstration, things are all right, government collapsed, I said no more asset now. And they asked me, so what's next? I've told him, okay, the flag will be handed over to you, be careful and be ready.
Yeah.
So try to prepare yourself as a surgeon, and you will be the next generation war surgeon or global surgeon, whatever.
Absolutely. And hopefully that's the aim with me as well.
Exactly.
And Um, for a follow-up questions, what would your advice be for someone like me, a medical student, that want to work as a humanitarian surgeon?
The lesson I learned from this war is being a doctor is not a career. There is another term should express this work. It's not a matter of way to earning money or whatever. Consider it in your life for your future. So when you feel your patient, rather than empathy, deeper than empathy,
Absolutely.
you are feeling with your patient pain, problem. In this way, you will do your best in different way rather than doing your best in any maintenance for any other career in your life. So this is the most important advice to know and be careful when you are going deeply in your career in the future.
Absolutely.
Whatever the specialty you're going to do, all of this specialty, you may have some sort of humanitarian side, whatever your specialty is.
No, it's some kind of feeling being in their shoes and have the feeling that what they actually feel. No, that's amazing. And after you came to the UK, from a personal experience, I feel my life have changed. I settled, I have a roof on top of my head to be able to say this is home. Although that really doesn't feel like home, but at least we can say it is home. I did my GCSEs, I learned English, I did my A-levels, and then I moved to university career, and hopefully for the future to go back actually to Syria and to do some work in Syria as well. How did your life change from the moments that you arrived the UK? How was it sort of different to?
Well, it's different than your time of your lifestyle. For me, I'm feeling shattered between here and Syria and Turkey, between your family who are now separate from your family. So thinking about my daughter, thinking about my son, the other son, how they are living, thinking about my mom, she is living still in Syria, thinking about all of the rest of the family. I'm feeling everywhere. I'm strange. Everywhere. Yeah. If I'm here, I'm stranger. If I'm in Turkey, I'm stranger. If I'm in Syria, I'm stranger. Because you are now shattered among all of these spaces and places. Mm-hmm. This is some sort of the same feeling when this revolution started. You feel that you don't know where you are, and there's no more sustainable life in the future. I believe I will not have any sustainable life forever now. It's over. The game is over, maybe.
Is it the same feeling that many people actually have said or asked me, like, where are you originally from?
Yes.
And it's really, for me, sometimes I find it difficult to say, like, okay, I am 100% from Syria. I lived in Syria, and only part of my childhood. Yeah. After the war, I lived in Turkey, and then for such a long time, even before the war, my mom was Turkish background, and then when I moved to the UK, I lived in Herefordshire, and that's where I say where I'm always from, and it's really difficult. People ask me like, oh, where are you from? I really don't know. I am from all over the place.
Exactly.
I have a feeling in Syria. I have a feeling that I am from Turkey. I have a feeling that the UK is really my home. And it's such a difficult feeling.
Yeah. Same with more complicated issues. You are young enough, so your feeling will be different than mine. Still have part of your family with you. When you will have your family, your wife, your kids, things will be different for you, especially if you settle here. When I went to the United States and spent a year over there, 2016 something, the life was there is different than here because all of my family were with me, at least. My kids with me and my wife with me, all of them with me. To some extent, I was feeling relaxed a bit. Of course, still shattered, still feeling what's going on in Syria. At that time, Aleppo was besieged, and then Ghouta, you know what's happening in Ghouta. All of this, still working and still thinking about them, keep communicating with the team on the ground. But the difference is all of you family are gathered together. This is for you, you feel it in the future, when you will start to build your family, start to build, have more life here. I think will be to some extent, not 100%, relaxing. Yeah.
That's amazing. Dr. Mahmoud, thank you very much for your time.
Oh, they're welcome.
Once again, it's really my pleasure to be able to talk to you.
Thank you so much for having me and have a nice talk with you.
Absolutely. And hopefully one day we will follow your footsteps.
Follow the right step, not my step.
Thank you.
I'm not the one. I hope that I'm on the right track. I hope that I'm on the right track. So follow the right track, whatever the right track is. That's it.